got you with my poster child shirt. And not to brag, but to share a little story and a little bit of my advice or tips on what to do as you get diagnosed with Hashimoto's or other autoimmune diseases. A few months ago, I was waiting to see my doctor and talking to some of the girls at the front desk. One of the girls was newer and said that she'd heard a little bit about my story and the success I'd had in treatment so far. And I guess the office manager I talked to her showed some of my before and after pictures, which I'll have to share some of those with you, and how much I had changed since I started treatment. And so we were joking about how I should have my own section up on the wall in the office and my before and after pictures and, prodigy child, whatever. And by this point in the conversation, the office manager had joined us, and she's just awesome. And she went back into her office, and comes back out a few minutes later, hands me the shirt, happens to be the right size, and just was talking about how awesome it is that I've been able to come as far as I have. I think just about anybody can have the same success in treatment that I've had if you do a few basic things, and I want to talk about those today. I get contacted regularly by people asking what to do. I said, hey, I just got diagnosed and I don't even know where to start. And that's super common, especially around the time of diagnosis. You're probably about at your worst, whether it be Hashimoto's or any other autoimmune disease, and you have brain fog and everything hurts head to toe, and inflammation, and a lot of times anxiety and depression are part of it, and so you're really just not in a good spot. One time I got contacted by a friend asking for that kind of help, and she said, I just want to hear your top 3. And ever since then, when people have come to me and asked, I only give my top 3, and then as they continue to progress in treatment and they want further help, then I'm happy to do that. Now, I'm no medical expert, as far as I don't have any sort of degree or practice when it comes to medicine. I only have myself and my experience, which is probably pretty close at this point to an MD. But my top 3. Number 1 is find yourself a good functional medicine doctor. A lot of times people get referred to an endocrinologist or just specialized doctor, and they can help. However, they're a little bit limited, usually because of insurance reasons, in the kind of tests they can run and the kind of treatment they can provide. And with a functional medicine doctor, they're going to take a whole body approach. They're not going to just treat the thyroid, and they're not even just going to treat the autoimmune disease, but they're going to treat you as a whole. They're going to address mental, physical, emotional, everything that's going to be affecting you and the disease, which is especially important considering Hashimoto's it's not a thyroid disease, it's an autoimmune disease. And there's also a lot of connection to trauma and other emotional events in life that contribute to the development of Hashimoto's. So that's my number 1, find a good functional medicine doctor. They're going to typically kind of use a combination of Eastern and Western medicine and treat with as little prescribed medication as possible, although that will still be part of the process for at least a period of the time. Number 2, you gotta follow a diet. Typically something that's going to be a paleo type diet. A really common one out there is the autoimmune protocol diet, AIP. The one that I follow is fairly close to a traditional paleo diet. So lots of protein, lots of high fats and vegetables, no soy, no dairy, no refined sugars, no grains. And I know that can sound pretty tough starting out. I adopted the mantra die or diet. I shared in one of my recent videos about how when I was diagnosed, I went a few years untreated, and by the time I found my current doctors, most of my organs were shutting down. I'd been on all liquids for about 4 months, and so when I was told about the paleo diet, I was so excited that I might be able to eat solid foods again. I thought I was going to be on liquids for life. And so that was a huge deal for me. And it wasn't, I didn't even you didn't have to ask me twice about doing the diet because I was stoked that I was going to be able to like have food I could chew on again. So I jumped all over the paleo diet, and like I said, for me it was die or diet. My organs were shutting down, and I don't know how much longer I was going to make it if I didn't change things. So following the paleo diet, why? Because with Hashimoto's and with most autoimmune diseases, they thrive off of inflammation. So lucky for us, a lot of foods cause inflammation. And so hence why cutting out all of the foods that are on that list is so that you can lower the inflammation, lower the response of your body, give your immune system a break, and help you to help heal your gut, and then just go into heal everything else in your body. That's my number 2. Lastly, number 3, slow down, take care of your emotional self. I don't think very many of us are good at that. I'm still working on that. However, your body's going through a lot. Emotionally and mentally, you're probably going through a lot. You have to slow down and take care of yourself. When you develop an autoimmune disease, you're not able to do a lot of the things you used to be able to do. I mentioned in my previous video, I got to the point where I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't go up and down stairs, and that wasn't just hard physically, but it affected me a lot emotionally, mentally, and socially. And it was tough coming to terms with being okay with not being able to do stuff. I had to learn how to say no, which for me was tough because I was always a people pleaser and said yes to virtually everything. I've gotten pretty good at saying no and setting boundaries, not for just emotional health, but to allow your body to heal. Taking care of yourself emotionally also means with functional medicine team or with other professional help is probably working through some of the emotional triggers that may be connected to your physical condition. Simplifying, saying no, taking care of your emotions is going to help so much in the treatment process. Anyway, those are my top 3. Number 1, find a good functional medicine doctor. Number 2, following a paleo type diet or something that will be anti-inflammatory. Number 3, slowing down and taking care of your physical and emotional self. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe right around there. Like the page, share it. If you have somebody that you know that has an autoimmune disease and you think that this might be helpful to them, please send it their way. I'm happy to chat with anyone that might need some extra support going through that diagnosis in the beginning of the treatment process. Have an awesome day, guys.